The boards were a big problem in the second half. Fouls were a problem in the second half. And, you allow a team to score with the clock stopped and don't do a good job with possession. And we had turnovers as well. So those are three pretty big factors. That said, we did a lot of good things throughout the game, but this is one we're going to have to learn from. I don't want to talk about the officiating. We're not expecting to get calls in here. It'd be nice if they laid off that one, but they didn't. So that's just the way it goes. I memean, we challenged it, they reviewed it, they got a bunch of people in New Jersey that agreed with them. So that's just the way it goes. So we got to learn from that too. That's a timing play. Both guys are involved, so we'll have to execute that better next time. Well, this is New York's pattern. As the game goes on, they get stronger with rebounding and they crash harder and harder. And so, we talked about it coming in. It's something that is a major factor. And so, we had opportunities to come up with balls we didn't come up with. And in a game that's a one possession game, it's it makes the difference.
Did you get an explanation on the kickball that they called in the last minute?
I didn't. I just watched the last 4 minutes. The angle that my feed had on it was a little bit distorted or covered, so I couldn't really see for sure. Aaron told me he hit his hand, but I don't know if it did or not. His leg moved a little bit, so they assumed it was a kick, but I don't know. I don't know that it was.
I didn't even know that was not reviewable. Did you know that that's not reviewable?
Yeah, we know it's not reviewable. There are only about four or five things that are reviewable. There's so many events in an NBA game. I mean, there's always a sharp focus on the last minute, but there were things that happened with 5 or 6 minutes left that really hurt us. We had one play where one of our guys, took a wild run to try to gamble and steal the ball, and it turned into a 4-point play for them. And I think we had a 5-point lead at the time. And so, it's not just the last minute or two. All right, it's the whole game, the whole fourth quarter, And so, this is great experience for our guys. It comes at a cost. It's no fun. But we're going to have to learn some things for game 2. The pace is going to vary from game to game. New York is a team. They play fast at times too. So all that stuff will come out in the wash, I think. This was a relatively high-scoring game for a playoff game. The environment was unreal, and it was what you'd expect. And a lot of plays were made, and I'm proud of a lot of the plays that our guys made. They got down 4 with 2.5 minutes to go, and just completely kept their poise and scored 2 baskets. Then we had the ball, So you can't overlook the good things that we did, but the things that were mistakes or things we'll need to learn from.
We can't worry about the officiating. They're just trying to do their job, and there were many plays that we could have made where it didn't even come down to that. So that's the stuff we got to focus on. That's something we can't control, but we can control, plays that we could have made to not have it come down to that. I mean, playing in an arena like this and having it come down to the last couple of possessions, on the road in the playoffs, what more can you ask for? The ball didn't bounce our way, and just got to adjust and fix some things. I just think, the rebounding really hurt us, and it gave them extra possessions, and DiVincenzo got hot from 3. Just as a collective, we need to be better rebounding the ball on defense, because that's been a focal point for us. We know they're a great rebounding team, and we'll get that fixed. I mean, I think he's been a focal point for everyone's defensive game plan all year. There hasn't been a game where I've seen him, a team in drop coverage. He gets trapped every time he comes off a pick and roll. And the best thing about Tyrese is he won't force a bad shot. He gets others involved, and we trust him wholeheartedly with the ball in his hands every single time. As elite of a one-on-one player as there is, it's a collective group effort, but he's playing at a really high level, so we gotta find ways to make it even tougher on him. You're not going to shut a guy like that down. You just got to make it really difficult.
We know they're a hard-playing team. I think in the first half we did a good job of controlling the boards, but that got away from us in the second half. You give those guys opportunities to score, they're going to take advantage of it. So on the defensive glass, then we got to be a lot better down the stretch. Just in my experience in this league, I think it's the best when the players decide the outcome of the game. I think it's unfortunate that it happened. We reviewed it; they still called it a legal screen, but it's the playoffs, man. I feel like DiVincenzo did a good job of selling it, and for the most part, you can't leave the game to be decided by the refs. So we have to take accountability as well. So of course, it's right after the game. I'm a little fresh with my emotions about it, but we know at the end of the day that we can't get to that position. So I think the last 2-minute report, we're all looking forward to that coming out. I think there was 2 controversial calls. We had to use our challenge on one call, Tyrese, and then the kickball by Aaron Nesmith that was not a kickball. You clearly see it on the replay. So, like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's just we can't put ourselves in that position. We have a very young team, and my speech to them after the game was telling them, like what I just told y'all, you can't rely, on the refs at the end of the game, especially in this building. Game 1 on the road, it's kind of a tough position to put ourselves in. But we take it on the chin and we just get ready for game 2. That's all I can do. The best thing about this is we play every other day, so we make our adjustments, get ready to go on Wednesday, and don't look too much into the 2-minute report. It just is what it is. But I just think that there's going to be some glaring things there. Emotion is going to be a big thing. I think we lost our first game, in Milwaukee, and it's kind of like you hear a pin drop, like the next day. And, I don't anticipate that being, our morale or, what our team's going to be about tomorrow. But emotion is big. And 2, so we talked about the controllable things, the hard showing hands, not fouling, not sending to the line to shoot 26 free throws, getting on the defensive glass a bit better. Those just to name a few. We definitely got to make, life a little more difficult with him. He's a special player, just plays angles very well. I think just keep throwing fresh bodies at him. We know he's gonna score his points. He shoots the ball 25, 30 times a game, so we know he's gonna get to his shots. But I think it's more so about limiting, their other role players. Someone like Josh Hart came in and had, a great game tonight and really juiced them up. DiVincenzo hit some big shots at the end. So it's one of those things where at times you gotta tip your cap to Brunson and then, try to do the job on the other guys.
I'm not going thinking I need to score 40. That's not my mindset at all. My mindset is to be aggressive, to make plays for myself and for others. And so get in the paint and see what's happening. And I have the confidence I know I could score in the paint, but I know I have the confidence that my teammates are all moving and get into open positions where they can be successful as well. I would say it's both. You developed it over your career, so it becomes instinctual. And so it's just having the poise and the confidence to know that you're going to continue to fight and just try and do the right things. And so no matter what the situation is, we know we're going into it with a clear mind. Just try and play basketball the right way and do what we got to do to win games.